Once upon a time, there was a little boy and he was walking and walking until he seen treasure. As soon as he got there, he grabbed the treasure and went straight back home. The end.
So there was once a little boy who went into a cave and he was looking for treasure. And as he kept going, he found the treasure. And then he decided to sit on the treasure chest. And the treasure chest wiggled and danced around. So one day, Jim went on a very bumpy journey, and he went over the hills and was starting to feel quite sick. And he happened to bump into a doctor who had the answer. He gave him a magical serum that turned him into a fly, so Jim wouldn't be sick anymore.
Once upon a time there was a girl called Molly. Molly had heard that there was treasure buried somewhere. So she started walking through a land, bumped into a seagull and walked past a cave. But she couldn't find the treasure. And then suddenly she thought she saw something in the cave. So she went in and there was the treasure. She took it home with her. And when she opened the box, she realised it would give her a wish for everything she wanted. And it turned out into a beautiful land full of all her friends and animals, and she lived happily ever after. Once upon a time there was a little girl, and she was walking through a mysterious land. Out of nowhere came a chest, and the chest appeared to be bouncing. Maybe it was dancing. The girl decided to take the chest with her, and she was so strong she managed to carry it all the way home. So she got on her travels and arrived home with the chest and lived happily ever after. Once upon a time there was a girl called Hannibal, and she had a friend. And they had heard from somebody that there was treasure buried near an old hall. So they went on this journey looking for the hall, and they found it. And then they started digging and they found the chest. They managed to actually get the chest open, and inside was mountains of treasure. So they shut the chest and they took it away with them all the way home. And they were so happy because it was their secret. And they kept it forever.
Once upon a time, a little girl was playing out, and then she found a tunnel. She followed the tunnel, and then and then on the way she saw someone, and he said to her, the girl, that there's a little cave, and she'll find the treasure if she finds the hidden key. And then she carried on walking down the tunnel, and then she found the cave, and she found the key buried on the floor, and she unlocked the chest, and then took all the treasure and closed the chest, and then went back to her house with the key.
Keith is out on a walk, and someone gives Keith a pickaxe. So he goes,
a sword.
And a sword, and he goes digging in the ground, but he can't find anything. Along comes Celia and helps him out, and they start digging in the ground as well, but they can't find anything. And then along comes Jim, and Jim is helping them out. And they start digging as well, but they can't find anything. So they decide to work together.
And you know the key?
And in the end, they find a treasure chest. And in the treasure chest is diamonds.
golden?
Once upon a time, there was a pumpkin who guarded all the people in the mine. One day, a minion started coming down into the mines, and as he was coming down, the pumpkin, who was guarding the mine, saw him and went over to him, and they started a fight. He was protecting the people, and as they fought, the pumpkin knocked the minion's head off. And at the end of the day, everyone was safe again.
Once upon a time, there was a man called Pumpkinhead, and he was visiting through a land. He came across a cave where he saw some treasure, and as he looked down, his head fell off into the treasure chest. Along came a seagull who actually saw something shiny in the treasure chest and knocked it with his beak, and so Pumpkinhead wobbled off again, but then it magically stuck back on his head, and the seagull flew away with the treasure that lay beneath.